reasons. Number one, I was taught by my great teacher, Reb Shlomo Chaim Kesselman, that when a person has a talent, a person must use that talent and not lose that talent. Joseph had a talent for the divine. He always was saved by God. And because he always was saved by God, and God always let him rise to the top, in whatever condition he was never really oppressed, because in the house of the butcher, he immediately found favor in his eyes and became the chief of staff. In the jail, he was running the jail for the jailer. He had no problems. I mean, problems, he was in the jail, he wasn't where he was wanted to be. But wherever he was, God did not allow that a circumstance should overwhelm him. So therefore, he should have relied upon God, because he had this talent. You see, a person who has to travel through the pitfalls of nature must go through nature. Joseph was supernatural. When you are supernatural, you don't rely on nature. Don't rely on people. Rely on God, because you're with God all the time. That's answer number one. Answer number two is a little bit more complicated. The butler was going to be released by a miracle, by the hand of God. We have a story in the Tanakh of a man by the name of Naaman. Naaman was the general of Aramea, and he had psoriasis that was racking his body with pain, and he couldn't go out publicly, and he was worried about his health. And he had a Jewish maidservant. She said, "Your Honor, Yesh Rebbe b'Yisrael, there is a Rebbe. There is a great man by the name of Elisha. He is God's prophet. Go to him, and you'll be cured." Well, he's skeptical. Why would he help a Gentile? But he goes anyway to Elisha. Elisha had a line of people whom he received all the time and would give them advice, and they would follow. So his turn came, and he says, "My name is Naaman. I am an Aramean general, and my body's filled with psoriasis, and it does not allow me to fulfill my activities, and I'm embarrassed to go out publicly. I might as well be dead." Elisha says, "Go into the Jordan River, it's a short distance from here. Dip yourself 7 times in the Jordan. That's it. God will help you." He goes out frustrated. He thought that he would begin to pray and go into a trance and meditate and hum and maybe make some smoke appear. Instead, he just said it very, very cold-bloodedly. Just go into the Jordan. Jordan River is not that clean even. He says, I have 2 rivers near my home, Afuna and Parpar, that are finer than all of the rivers in Israel. Why would I just go into this mud hole of a river? And he had an assistant who was a smart guy. He says, "Listen, what if he asked you for $1 million? Would you have done it?" "Sure," he said. "What if he asked you to cut your arms and let blood flow for the next hour? Would you have done it?" He says, "Yes, of course I would have done it." He says, "What's your problem? If that you would do, why can't you just dunk yourself 7 times in the Jordan?" So he says, you're probably right. And he goes to the Jordan, goes in. He comes out with baby skin, as pure as the skin when he was born. He's overwhelmed. He goes back to Elisha, says, "Now I know that there's a God in Israel. Your God is my God. I accept only one God, the God of Israel, and I'd like to give you a gift." And Elisha says, no gifts. Go on your way. God should bless you. He had an assistant, Elisha did, Gehazi, who was a conniving guy. He was his chief of staff, and he was the one who had to feed the students. Elisha had a student body, many tens of disciples, maybe hundreds of disciples. And Gehazi had to provide for them, and he also wanted to provide for himself, for his kids. And this guy's a rich guy. Elisha's a butler, and he runs out, catches up to him after a couple of months, and says, you know, Elisha had a change of heart. He's got this yeshiva, he's got this religious institution. He's more than happy to get some money, and he gets a whole bunch of money, gets your geld, comes home, comes to the place, covers it up so Elisha shouldn't see, and he thinks he can get away with it. Elisha calls him and he says, come here, you. He says, what did you get from Naaman? Says, me get from Naaman? What? Well, I got news for you, you know. Naaman had psoriasis that was going to be permanent. That psoriasis will now be on you and all your children for all generations. Get out of here. Gehazi leaves Elisha and is one of several people that the rabbis tell us does not have a portion of the world to come. But let's understand what took place. Elisha did not take the money. He had an institution. He had hungry to feed. He was a man that was dealing with the public. You mean to tell me he had no tzedakahs, no charitable organizations? Of course he did. Why didn't he take money from Naaman? The answer is, when there is divine intervention, and you're the agent to bringing benefit to someone else, you should have no benefit from that. That's coming from God to this person, and you shouldn't get any benefit from a miracle. Joseph, too, was the channel for a divine miracle for the butler. And he should have known intuitively that from a mitzvah, from a miracle, one should not have any benefit. He was trying to benefit from a miracle. And that's why he had to stay another couple of years.